Academy was a part of that, and so we're going to see some hunkering and bunkering from Atlanta Academy. Gator's going to be on that Orisa. Perfect is going to be on the Bastion. And I'm liking Sugar Free on the May as well.
This is all about frustrating second gen, picking him off piecemeal, making your fortress unassailable. Perfect on the Bastion. Beep boop.
That is what they say.
His theme song is "It's Raining Bullets." That's what he's rocking out to right now, is my guess. Second gen, they're going to be walking into a potential firing range. ChronoDota on this Reinhardt. A lot of times we see the teams go Winston instead. Yes, and indeed, you see all the wireframes heading back to spawn. They're going to change things up because you cannot win the shield battle against a Bastion Orisa setup, especially when you have a Mei. You have to go in for that mobility. You have to go in to try and disable those shields and abilities, which is exactly why we're seeing a Genji, Winston, and Sombra grace our screens.
Part of me thinks that Sox will probably charge his ultimate faster on Genji than he has on Grig so far. Let's see if that will hold true. Atlanta Academy haven't been moved yet. Second generation still trying to figure out how they want to take this.
A really badly lost fight will throw the advantage in ATL's favor, but a big anti right off the bat only catches Saucy.
Ajax is hacked and low, but second generation are able to push the damage through. Second generation going to have to try one more time. This Bastion is going to stay for now.
Just for now, though, you never quite know, although near touching 75% to tank mode.
That's a lot.
He is putting in some damage right now, but second gen, to their credit, dive is all about getting in, getting out quickly. So they died really quickly. They're going for that reset once again, playing either around the Genji Blade or the EMP is their ticket.
And if you didn't see the wireframe, he was scouting out the Sombra, did make contact actually, so they know that the Sombra is around. Shadows rocking the Sombra for the first time all map, and maybe they remembered exactly what Buds did to them from Skyfox on this map last time, but second generation not having a good time again on this map as BitBop gonna get D-Mech. Perfect already has the ultimate, and he's getting the kills too.
I wonder if it would be worth it for second gen to just all in on the point, because ATL Academy has to send somebody back there. You saw Shadows trying to 1v1 Ajax on the Brigitte. You're not going to win that duel. And in the meantime, the rest of second gen was falling to pieces trying to assail the Bastion Fortress, which again is going to be a very difficult ask without any ultimates. However, now we do see those check marks popping up. 3 for Atlanta Academy, Sugar Free very close, and Gator as well. Second gen has the EMP and Blade. That would absolutely open this point. They just have to execute it well, and already ATL playing spread. You can tell they're expecting this to come in.
Yeah, this is actually really cool. They separated the Orisa and the Bastion, so they had to commit on one or the other, not all at the same time. Good heads-up play from second generation. The EMP is going to go down. Perfect did not get hit by it, so tank mode is still available. Hawk might be able to use that self-destruct. Yes, he will be, but he was hacked twice in a row. Sugar Free going to be taken down. It's Houston Sox. No! Atlanta Academy using that tank mode really just to reposition. Going to get thrown off because of ChronoDota's Primal Rage. Second generation looking good to get this point. BitBop still has that self-destruct. Now Atlanta Academy are just trying to get more ultimates on their side. Saucy unable to add anything to his charge, but at least Atlanta Academy have the Battle Bongo, that Supercharger, and that self-destruct for this next push.
They have tools to try and hang on to point B where the snowball could be real. They also forced almost every ultimate out from second gen that they had, right? Just to try and cut that Bastion down. Sock's gonna swap onto the Brigitte once again. So ATL Academy actually playing very confidently, not switching, giving up any of those ultimates. A lot of times we see teams just go wholesale swap onto that GOATS composition. It's, you know, as you say, if you're having a hard time on the SATs, just go GOATS.
Or ask your parents to take it for you, is what I've learned recently.
Ooh,
Atlanta Academy. Yeah, Atlanta Academy. Don't do that. That's bad advice. Gator and Hawk have their ultimate. Second generation going to throw that self-destruct in, not find anything from it. Gator was woken up really early from that, so they're not going to find any value from that cooldown. Supercharger already taken down, and they're so used to just throwing that self-destruct straight up into the air, hits the ceiling immediately, but does get BitBop's mech, so does find value. That's going to make second generation's attack much harder for them, and now that BitBop is back in spawn, this is time to reset for them.
Oh, undoubtedly. ATL weathered that quite well. You don't have a lot of mobility with the Mei and Orisa, so second gen, they could have, if they had been able to stand their ground, they could have had a good rebound offense when BitBop got back into Mac. However, ATL, you know, just raise the stakes even more by just finishing off the baby diva. So there is no chance right there. Eclipse giving us all a little nausea. head back to spawn, might be swapping. Yes, indeed, it will be the Zenyatta. So this is a good... Trance is always great, not just against Grav, but also against Blizzard, which is online for Atlanta Academy.
Atlanta Academy sticking to this composition. Anna can just pretty much shoot from the corner on this map, however long that they won it. Saucy looking for a good target for this Nano. Part of me hopes the Mei stands in front of it on accident and gets a Nano Mei. Let's see if we'll see that. Saucy going to go ahead and throw that Nano out. Who is going to be in charge of it? It looks like Gator is going to be the one with the extra damage and the extra takiness and the particle barrier as well. And those cooldowns, all of that is just enabling Gator to get to the backline, disrupt, and make sure that his team wins this fight.
Because honestly, Gator doesn't have as much pure tanking ability as ChronoDota. When you take HP and shielding into account, so that nano boost gives him much more. Nobody saw that. Gives him much more sustainability and aggression. So second generation now coming back in. This is going to be one of their best chances. They've drawn some ultimates out from Atlanta Academy, but once more, they don't seem to have a very cohesive plan. They waffled in mid. You saw ChronoDota got booped back. His backline fell apart, and then everything just... What a wall.
Splitting half of the team apart. It doesn't matter if it's 1, 2, or 3. Basically, when someone from the opposing team is unable to participate, that Mei is going to be feeling great about that. As Gator going to get more kills on the board, Atlanta Academy will have a full 6-pack coming into the next game.
Cold, chilly, you know. Sugar-free will have yet another Blizzard. Second gen right now seems to be playing for the ultimate advantage by, oh, well, we drew out a couple ultimates in this fight, but if you cannot win those fights or at least make them competitive, you will always have the disadvantage. You will always be just a little bit behind.
Did you see the fusion spray from Gator just then? Yeah, I just wanted to point that out. There might be a conversation that needs to happen because of that. Atlanta Academy now do have that full 6-pack of ultimate. Second generation will have about 4.5 right now. Eclipse could get to that Transcendence. Eclipse, though, very low. Already is taken down. Gator, basically, the way that Atlanta is playing this, Gator is not dying. He still even has that Primal Rage, so they only invest the Nano. It's all they need into that fight.
Such value, such value. Nano on top of anti-nade. Got to give Saucy even more credit. Another fusion spray. Saucy even more credit right there because the way second gen's health bars melted was because of that massive purple plus the cleave coming in from Gator. Second gen really stymied. Now this will be their last shot. Only 40 seconds left on the clock and they have 5 ultimates to burn through.
But they have 6 of their own potentially for this fight. The wall not going to be as valuable as some of the other ones as Gator going to go ahead and go into the backline. This is very scary. Oh, good stun coming into that Primal Raging Winston. That could have been a lot of environmental kills for Atlanta Academy. And now all of the ults are coming out. 1 self-destruct kill for each side. Atlanta Academy used all 6 ults. They are going to find themselves on top. But the good news here is that second generation used all of theirs as well. So they're going to be coming into this next fight even with second generation. So there's no more time on the clock either, so Atlanta Academy still have an advantage here. Second generation now in Miracle stall right now. ChronoDota getting the kill into Gator can make things pretty interesting. Perfect on the Widowmaker, getting that headshot onto Shadows. ChronoDota is purpled, somehow still alive. Hawk ending his misery for the time being. Atlanta Academy going to stop him from getting this first point. You know, when you see those trades 2-2, the defense is going to come out on top about 80 to 85% of the time. Sometimes you can get 2 more picks in response, but we did not see that from second generation.
What you need in order to continue a fight like that when you are down manpower is have ultimates, right? But unfortunately, second gen needed to use those ults just to find those early trades. So unfortunately, we weren't able to see them cap out point B. I actually just thought of it, Boop. It feels like instead of seeing, 1 6v6, we saw 6 1v1s with the way that second generation was playing. A lot of times, again, we're going to harken back to Focus Fire, something we touched upon in Eichenwald, but when second gen have that advantage, they're never quite able to finish the fight, right? Clean up the last couple of stragglers, and I think it is because of that split attention. Part of it is certainly because ATL are taking advantage of maybe their lack of cohesion or maybe their lack of playtime together. But a large part of it also is just going to be, second gen opening up those windows for, the D.Va to come in and try and burn Eclipse down by himself, and everybody has to rush to defend him when they were trying to get the Zarya down. It's you only have 2 eyes, right? And
sure.
Most people. Well, we'll just, but yeah, and your hope is they're all 6 pairs are focused in on the same target, and that's not what was happening for second gen.
I mean, again, not a lot happening for second gen in general. They finally were able to break through that bastion on point A, but really struggled. And someone that I want to talk about a little bit for second generation is Sox. And something about those rallies is they're notoriously the fastest ultimates one of the faster ultimates that you can accrue for yourself. But with Sox, that wasn't the case. It wasn't the case on Genji either. Eventually able to do something at the very end of that fight, but Sox seems to be kind of like a win more person. Right? It's like when the team's already winning, Sox probably feels better about himself, and that's when his performance is the best. But his team is not winning right now, and they need him to be valuable and provide these ultimates. I don't forget that rally that he invested on Eichenwald after a couple members already died. And by the time he got rally again, it was almost over for him.
It is one of those things, like, you know, we talked a lot about Trill in the last series about how he is a play around me kind of Reinhardt, right? If you give him the resources, he will get the job done. And so the team can structure themselves around that play style. Second gen, we're still waiting to see who is going to be that player, because they are, I mean, while ATL Academy, you could say like all 6 of them are performing at a high level, second gen doesn't need that to happen. They just need anybody.
They don't have a play around me person just yet, and we saw how good that is. And we're seeing it with Gator here too. Sometimes it's Hawk, sometimes it's Gator, sometimes it's sugar-free on occasion, right? But they have like that person that they can play around, and right now second generation still kind of figuring that out. The coaching staff, I think that's exactly what they're going to be looking at moving forward, going into these next games. But second generation have to finish this one first. They did not get any progress on point B, so all Atlanta Academy need to do is get 1 tick on the second point.
Yes, 1 and 1. 1, 1 and done, we might say, for Atlanta Academy. And I'd love to see if they would flex onto something else, but especially with this team having a player on an off role, Saucy on the flex support, we might just go with the tried and true, make sure that this baseline foundation is working as it should before they try and get a little bit spicy. Although Ajax, you know, just going to use the telly, I'm guessing, to put everybody on the high ground. Oh, nope, JK. So,
yeah, he did.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did. The teleporter went up there.
Most people have 2 eyes. I have 0.
Atlanta Academy on this attack. I'm expecting this to either be hyper patient, waiting for the ults, or just go in with reckless abandon. There is no middle ground here for them on their attack. So
20% for Gator. Yeah,
they're going to be waiting for this Earth Shatter and or Graviton Surge to come online before they really start ripping them apart. If they do, second generation Bitbop going to go ahead and boop some of the members from Atlanta Academy. Atlanta Academy now still jostling for position.
Fairly even in terms of support ultimates, but every second that passes, Gator inches closer to that shatter, and Chronodota falls. Once again, second gen let their main tank get back into respawn, and that means this is a totally wide open point for ATL.
Felty did the right thing. After that first pick in my head, I was like, get yourselves off of this point, right? Throw yourselves off, because right now, Atlanta Academy, you know, with an Earth Shatter and a rally, that's pretty good, but they don't have the Graviton Surge, which is a great snowball potential. You want all of them, of course, but they do have the Transcendence. It could have been worse if even Felty was alive for a little bit longer. Saucy might already have that Trans.
Very, very likely. Grav is still one of those fight enders. Eclipse is going to be racing to get the Trance in time. Saucy already has it.
Sox not 30% away from that rally. They're really going to want that for this defense. As Chronodota going to open things up with an Earth Shatter. Hawk, only one on the ground. Gator going to be using one himself, but now with the Transcendences coming out, one's actually going to find more value, and that's going to be second generations. Atlanta Academy are going to lose theirs because Saucy was moved off of the high ground and had to come right back into the fight. Second generation, because of that displacement, are finding themselves a defense here.
Got a little bit lucky there. Actually, I'm going to give it to second gen. Credit is all in them to displace the trancing Zen. Otherwise, Gator would have been able to stay healthy. He might even have a shatter again at this point. So ATL now whittled down to their 3 ultimates, Bigger Bang and the Sound Barrier. Second gen, though, keep playing like this. Take the initiative, right? Can't let ATL start snowballing on you. Otherwise, when you're scrambling, you're not playing your own best game. The Chronodota right here looking for the Fire Strike.
Graviton Surge, no, Self-Destruct is behind them. Is the shield enough? Yes, it will be. Is Gator going to get 2 charge kills during that fight? Atlanta Academy are going to potentially grab this first take, and the answer is yes, they will, unless Felty is able to create a miracle somehow. Nope. No miracles here. Atlanta Academy are going to go up 3-0 against second generation really, really quick, too.
Clinch the victory very quickly. And the grab, a little bit unexpected right there. Oftentimes you know, would be like, okay, well, we're waffling. We're going to watch for this positioning. Good play right there once again from ATL with their rotations. Practiced, I would say, is kind of the overall summation of that team. They looked like they were going to swing around the hallway, but Grav comes in and surprise, Gator charges from the hall anyways. So they win things out against second generation, who are going to be, you know, hopefully using Rialto as a place to maybe test some new ideas, because the current mode not working.
It's nice to see those Atlanta boys back in that kind of form, too, because last week was scary to witness. Again, I keep bringing it up, but Sky Fox has thrashed them in that game. And so now that we're here against second generation team that Atlanta Academy should win against, and we're seeing that happen right now. You really don't want to start your season 0-2 because max losses for the season to make playoffs is 3. And so second generation already looking at that 0-2 record. They really want to win out from here, and that's going to be tough for them. Atlanta Academy, 1-1 now, bringing things back, feeling good for them.
Yeah, you go into, you know, second week 1-1, you're still going to be feeling all right. There's room to play with. I hope that second gen are going to be able to put their backline in a position to shine, because Felty, Eclipse, they're both such good support players, and they were silent that this whole series so far, and it's not even really of their own volition, right? Support players, you know, sometimes you get crazy Zenyatta's like Alarm, who just kills people from across the map first thing out of spawn.
Last week.
Haku.
Yeah, or on Monday.
Haku. Gotta add an H when you're a fragging Zen, an extra letter, right? But yeah, Eclipse just never really had that space, that room. Same with ChronoDodo, who is a more than capable main tank.
Very well said, Ham. And so as we get into our fourth map, are we going to expect something? You know, now is usually a time where us casters kind of theory craft. If we don't see goats, what are we going to see?
Protect the president.
It is going to be Rialto, so that could definitely be it. Hopefully we don't see what we saw in the last game on Rialto, which was a team on the high ground and a team on the low ground, just kind of figuring out what to do.
Neither one of them really moving. I know you're right there.
Exactly. And so now that we're going to be going into the land of right angles, in terms of how these teams have been playing so far, and the peaks, let's talk about the peaks of second generation when we're thinking about this. How do you think they're going to attack Rialto?
Well, I mean, I would hope that they might throw a Sombra into the mix, might throw something crazy into it. Pharahs, we see oftentimes on Rialto, which is always going to be an option.
Could run a Roadhog at
yeah,
Rialto
could run a Roadhog. We could see Sir Hog again. But essentially, second gen either need to radically swap the way that they're playing goats, or just, you know, swap up the heroes. When you come across, you know, matchups that aren't mirror, you can play around the inherent advantage that some heroes have. Say, for example, Pharmacy. Yo, you just can't touch this, right? We're up in the air attacking from a different angle. That could be something to play around. Right now, second gen kind of need that identity to turn anybody into the spearhead to try and push through ATL, because right now it's like just being hit by a loofah. Right? Every time it comes in, you're like, okay, I guess, cool. Right?
Like the pool noodle, right? The wet noodle fights. The classic Reinhardt wet noodle. And so for map selection, we're seeing that Rialto is going to be the next map. And we saw some good offense on this map in the last round with Envy. And let's see if we're going to be seeing the same thing here. And I'm really scared for second generation onto their attack when they do attack, because Atlanta's defense has been strong. Granted, Atlanta is very good on Assault. Not last week, but historically, Assault has been their best map. So seeing that kind of dominance on Assault makes complete sense. Let's see if they're going to be able to bring that same kind of energy and dominance now into Rialto.
Yeah, this is a map where originally nobody really finished it out, but now teams are finding where they can push their advantage, how far they can hold up. We see a lot of crazy point A defenses. Teams all inning. We throw the grab and the trans.
That was great. Did you see that? It transitioned right from where the video stopped. It was in the same exact place. That was nice.
That's a really nice touch.
Sorry to interrupt.
Great prod. No, definitely worth interrupting, because I was just yarning on about, hey, Rialto's hard.
Forehead.
Yeah. But it is true. The snowball is real in a very warm and sunny climb, especially if you can get that high ground off of point B. You get much better staging. It's all about keeping the ball rolling on escort. No points to defend or attack. So, second gen rolling out with, all right, okay, we're just gonna work on our goats composition. Why not? But Ajax looking for one of those Reddit boops.
Let's See if he's going to be able to find it. He is behind the team. The Stampin' Up is there. The Boop is there. And the Reinhardt is down. We got our first nice Rialto Boop of the day. Beautiful stuff. Thank you for watching.
And
Thank
his
you,
name
Ajax.
is Ajax.
Hey, I guess if he's not sound barriering, he can be pretty safe to go. So Ajax getting closer to that sound barrier because of all the health that Reinhardt had during the Boop, already at 30% perfect at the same level. Oh, is it going to happen again? The Boop is there, but no, the boosting Diva was able to make enough ground to make sure that he did not get booped, and Eclipse getting a kill as well, but was that a final blow? Was that environmental?
I believe Boger slipped just past the railings. So.
And let's talk about Boger just a little bit, because Boger, also coming from Europe, I think the only Hungarian representative in all of Overwatch League, is really interesting, because Boger going into Overwatch Contenders Trials EU this last season, a lot of people were like, I don't know if this guy is that great, right? Completely honest. But then during during Trials, he really showed up. He was arguably one of the best parts of his team.
Played on Side Effects and Bazooka Puppies, right? Bazooka Puppies is kind of a rite of passage for European players, but you know he's experienced.
Exactly. So here we go. Boger already close to that Earth Shatter. Nice move, knocking down from the high ground, putting him in a very bad position. The Discord Orb was on him as well. The Graviton Surge into self-destruct now. 2 kills for Hawk on that self-destruct. Atlanta Academy still have both of those support ultimates, second generation. You know, depending on who your Reinhardt is, you know, and Meat is in for Socks as well. Same results, though.
Yeah, I think the team, maybe it's just a little bit more about how they play together than their individual parts. But again, 4th map, right, is a great time to try something new. And Boger is ready with the Shatter, but Ajax can displace him so easily. This is the benefit that ATL have when they defend so well. They can set up exactly where they want, and Shadows, as much as he tries, he will be walking into a disadvantageous situation.
Boger going to go ahead and drop down and try to get some Earth Shatter stuff going on. Second generation is going to use the Transcendence and the Graviton Surge as well. The damage is not being done to anybody, because Atlanta Academy have used both of their support ultimate. Second generation going to be using their last support ultimate on their side. Bipbop going to get that self-destruct kill. So after all those check marks deplete, second generation find more value out of theirs. They're going to continue on the payload.
Good sound barrier from Felty. You might call it an overinvestment, but so often at this level we see divas cut down before they can remake, and Boger just gonna, make his presence felt, shaking this earth before he takes a dip. Oh man,
that's the second time today. Ajax getting Boger down, and the rest of Atlanta Academy are going to follow. This is the best spot to defend here on point A, right before you are able to grab it. Second generation, though, coming in with absolutely nada.
And that's such a dangerous place. ATL not only have 3 ultimates, but Ajax is still playing for them. This guy creates such huge windows just with that innate Lucio ability, because if Boger could have followed up with that Earth Shatter, second generation might have well taken point A at this moment.
Hawk has that self-destruct. Perfect does not have the grab, so we're going to see this kind of zone people out, maybe split them apart, wait for the Earth Shatter. The Earth Shatter is there. Sugar Free going to get the kill. Hawk not going to be doing anything with that self-destruct just yet, holding on to it because that was the right decision. Second generation fallen by the wayside again. No more boops, though. That's a positive.
Always a positive, but Ajax is still hunting. He wants to pad those stats, and why not going up above the roof? 10 seconds left. If he gets a pick, this will be the end of second gen's push.
Unable to get it there. They actually spotted him out, I believe. Oh! That was cool. Some good tracking from that Lucio to get Bip-Bop in the end. Unable to make it to the payload.
That's where the Bip-Bop stops.
Yes. Everyone says that.
Including my grandma. But that really unfortunate. You saw that when, once second gen got the ball rolling, Boger knew, we have to finish this out. Everybody tries and comes back and defends very aggressively at point A. We must clean this fight. Got that opportunity snatched away from him. So ATL, they have a very comfortable win condition.
Comfortable indeed, so this thing can be over within the next 2 to 3 minutes, depending on how Atlanta Academy...
Don't blink too fast, kids.
Depending on how Atlanta Academy do try to attack this. Pound for pound, player by player, just so much better this week, and really the only difference is the lack of Sombra on the other side. So what's really cool for Atlanta Academy is, now they get to say, hey, with the team, maybe a little bit weaker in general in terms of just strength versus Skyfox's. Atlanta Academy now know that Sombra could be their weakness, and now they get to practice that. They have more proof now, and that's awesome.
Exactly. More footage, more game tape that, this team is still awesome. Right? Saucy, we haven't mentioned have as much, but he was certainly lighting up the kill feed on the Zenyatta as well. Everybody, working very well within their roles.
And that's a good thing, because when we were talking about Sassy last week, it was because he was dying, right? So the fact that we're not saying it as much means that there's already been an inherent improvement, because with these support players, the transcendences and sound barriers are what we point out, and they have to be perfect.
ATL going to get a face full of spawn camp, but these defenders have been rebuffed in the past. There's also an option to just swap onto Bastion to burn some tanks out. We perfect on the high ground, and poor Boger also getting booped around. Just this awkward stalemate, man.
It's deja vu all over again, friends. We're seeing this defense. Hey, maybe that's how you do it. You hang on to the high ground. That's better. You get a better vantage point, and then you just kind of get those ults going. Second generation going to be winning this out eventually. Oh, no, actually, we're going to get some trades. Atlanta Academy going to be going back to spawn, but second generation can stay here, and that's the best news for them.
Eclipse got the volley onto Saucy as well, so he will be 50% up to the trans. All important right here, especially if second gen continue to try and push their advantage very close to spawn. But the boop!
Another boot for Ajax. I believe that's number 3. We got a final blow boost a little earlier. And now we got the Reinhardt trying to see each other. Boger and Sugar Free battling it out as well. The Graviton Surge onto the payload. Boger is very, very low. And they do take him down. Shadows will be the next to follow. Maybe it's going to be Neat instead. But it doesn't matter as everyone follows them back to spawn. Second generation are going to have to hold this at Courtyard. Atlanta Academy have made themselves owner of the payload.
Rolling around that corner. Hawk looking for the self-destruct. Will this finally be the time we get to Kaka with a 3K? It's always a possibility with this guy. Spoiler alert. And Ajax rejoins the fray here as well. Second gen not yet have an ultimate in hand. Oh, Neat already brought so low.
Self-destruct is in the back line and does get Eclipse, who must have been out of position. Atlanta Academy looking good right now. 6v5. Another kill for Shadows. 6v4. Second generation, though, if they do come back for this next defense, they have a ton of ultimates. They will be able to hold. They should be able to hold, if I should say more correctly, because they have the advantage coming in here.
On paper, second gen has a great chance, the best chance that they've had all series to hold Atlanta Academy to support ultimates. It's just about how speedy that Lucio speed boost is. ATL, Gator has the shatter. He could do to them what Boger tried.
Sound barrier is going to be escorting second generation. The Graviton Surge is, they are able to contest the payload, and they're going to win out the fight. Boger does have the Earth Shatter still for the next one as he goes down. The Atlanta Academy unable to finish the last 2.28 meters on their side. 1 minute and 34 seconds left.
But they lost Neat. That's going to be a very scary thing. Atlanta Academy could get back onto this cart much faster than the second gen members will. But looks like it will be a full 6v6 once again. The best news is they only use Felty's sound barrier that way, and Shadow's Grav, so they still have 4 to their name. There is life left yet in this defense.
How much life do you need to win out against Atlanta? There's only a minute left. You have an ult advantage. The Earth Shatter is going to be open from Boger. Get 3 onto Atlanta Academy, but one of them wasn't Ajax, who has had a Rialto of his dream so far. Graviton Surge now coming from Perfect. They really want to end it right here, right now. Self-destruct coming in from Hawk. Gets 2 kills, but 1 is traded on the other side, but the numbers don't lie. Atlanta Academy will be winning this set 4-0 against second generation, who have yet to win a map. Really good bounce back from Atlanta Academy. Sophomore slump ain't gonna apply to you as I spit right in Evie's face. Atlanta Academy looking good. Evie, how are you feeling?
Feeling good. I'm feeling so much more confident about Atlanta Academy. Unlike Boop, it's not just a spray and pray. Right? You can tell that they came in here to have decisive engagements and weren't phased at all by what second gen threw at them. I'm bringing it up because we saw earlier in the first series of today, Skyfoxes undoubtedly get a little flustered with when they got spawn camped, right? When the game wasn't going the way that they wanted, when they couldn't open with an EMP, when Buds wasn't getting a ton of value. We saw Gravs thrown into the void. We saw, wasted transcendence here and there. And it's a, excellent showing from Atlanta that they were able to keep their cool. Maybe we lose this fight, but we know we got a good shot at the next one.
They've improved their record to 1-1 as second generation dropped to 0-2, but that's only the first half of games we have today. We still have 2 more to go, and they're both pretty great as well. Let's take a look. Energy Esports will be facing Phase 2 and Square 1 versus XL2. Energy, where's your number?
I know, it's a battle of, numbers right now.
There it is, but that's going to be it for Boop and Ham today. It's been fun bringing you guys the cast, but we got to change some things around. ZP and Avast will be here for the second half of games. We'll see you all later.